Hi, this is Michael Levy from Fuzz on the Lens Productions. I'm a director, producer, actor, and you might know me as Will the Exterminator in the Terrifier franchise. I'm also a producer of the Terrifier franchise and director of upcoming horror film Stream. And you're listening to 30 Screams or Less.
Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today's movie we're going to be reviewing is called Vile. It's directed by Taylor Sheridan, written by Eric Jay Beck and Rob Kowsaluk, starring Eric Jay Beck as Nick, April Matson as Tayler, and Akeem Smith as Tony. The plot of this movie is 4 friends are kidnapped by a madman and locked in a house with 6 other people. Each of the captives have to endure life-threatening torture to fill a device attached to their head, or they will be trapped inside forever. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror, and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil, and dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us. And like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out and support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. With that said, 30 Screams or Less starts now. Corey, what did you think of Vile?
So, Steve, I told you we had to watch this movie this week, and you weren't allowed to watch the trailer before because I knew you might not agree to watching it.
Yeah.
We watched most of it yesterday together before we watched, before we went to see the Red Cord, and your reaction did not disappoint at all. It nailed a lot of the shit you hate, and This movie is super grotesque, and of course I enjoyed it.
Of course you loved it. It's torture porn. Yeah. It's like right up your alley.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, you got to hear me do the vomit sounds in person.
You almost puked up the chicken we just ate.
I know, man. All that chicken that I just ate and spent fucking $22 on the secret menu, I guess, almost threw it up. But when I was watching this movie, for some reason, I didn't find a lot of it that bad. Like the nail stuff, I hate the nail stuff. Obviously, we've talked about this. Eyes, teeth, nails, bones, and genitals. Those are like the 5 things for me. But then a lot of movies now tend to have those elements. So it's like I'm starting to get a little used to it. And in this movie, they did nails like twice. But there's one thing that I found a little weird is that the poster for the movie had pliers and teeth. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, so we're going to see a lot of fucking teeth pulling in this movie, aren't we? Great. So I'm thinking that's probably why you picked it initially, is because you saw that and you're like, Steve's going to fucking hate all this.
I saw the fingernail stuff and I saw the pliers, and I figured we'd take you down with this one.
Yeah, no, it didn't. I mean, Headless was way worse in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Yeah, but also, we've already discussed Plex as well. That didn't make them out as any better. But this movie, so I'm full-blown thinking, like, there's going to be a fucking teeth-pulling scene. Oh, my God, it's going to be a nightmare. It didn't happen at all. So on the poster, it shows pliers pulling teeth, and there's not a single teeth-pulling scene in this movie. The only time there was a teeth incident in this movie is when a girl got slugged with a wrench.
Pipe wrench.
Yeah, a pipe wrench, and then she started spitting teeth.
So you bring that up. That was probably, I think, the hardest torture scene to watch.
Yeah.
And also the best one, because that girl was being a bitch to everyone.
Oh, yeah. She deserved it.
Yeah, she deserved all of that. But he hits her right in the throat with a pipe wrench. I was like, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. When I saw that right in the throat, I was like, damn, they want to fuck her up.
We're talking right in the center of her throat piece.
And within reason, because what this girl did to, like, these people before her was just kind of borderline sadistic. She was really fucking these guys, like fucking these people up, and didn't care. And then when her turn came, it was like, no, don't hurt me, please. It's like, oh no, you fucking brought this on yourself. Yeah, she was bad. That first guy that laid on the table voluntarily, she just went bonkers on him. And she like broke his leg and stuff. Eric's like, what are you doing? When we get out of here, he's not going to be able to walk. And she's like, he knows something.
Didn't think of that.
Yeah. My bad.
We didn't get to see him get tortured, though.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, no, he was off screen.
So that was one of the things that I kind of really liked about this movie is a lot of the vicious stuff you didn't see. They relied on the sound.
Yeah.
The sound designers were really cool in this movie and really portrays what's happening behind the scenes, because when he's getting tortured, you see Tayler kind of just hearing all of it happening.
Yeah, all the squelching.
Yeah.
That type deal. There was like a crunching and a squelching.
Yeah, and they never really showed what they did to him. He was just fucked up in the bed.
Yeah, all I saw was like something with his hands. I didn't see really anything else other than that. Like there was some blood on the bed, but
yeah,
this is really just kind of open for interpretation regarding what happened to him. I mean, naturally, he got pretty messed up. Like, messed up enough where the girlfriend's like, I'm going to make sure to put pills in your mouth and via a kiss. And, hopefully they won't know. And these pills were painkillers that she got at the beginning. She was hiding them for a friend. Turns out they came in handy for him, but didn't really help matters for this. Because what's happening in this movie is that these people have these things hooked to, I'm assuming, their brain, right? Because one guy, he had it hooked to his brain. I think it's his brain. And when he pulled the thing out, he died almost immediately. So probably just turned his brain to fucking scrambled eggs, pulling it out, and died.
Which is odd because you and I were talking about that as we were watching this. Like, these people aren't going to survive anyways, because once you pull that thing out of your brain, you're going to die.
Exactly. You have to go to the fucking hospital.
Then they get in that machine, and at the end, when the girl lets him go,
yep,
and it just pulls him out like a fucking ink card at a Kmart.
Yeah, at Staples. They sell a lot
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, an ink cartridge thing.
So yeah, it just pulls out the fucking cartridge. That's about it. But then there was like a failsafe later on. And I mean, we'll get to all that because that's more towards the end of the movie. So it does start off as kind of like a nice, well, actually, no, going back even further. It doesn't start off nice. It starts off pretty brutal. It starts off a guy just laying down on a gurney. Is it a gurney? Is that the word I want to use?
Yeah, he was strapped to a gurney.
Okay, yeah, he was strapped to a gurney, and this doctor, who I think it is a doctor, she just starts carving into him with a scalpel, and it's vicious. Yeah, so the guy's laying on a gurney, he's getting his fucking chest cut open, and we see these 3 pills later on, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening here. I mean, we see like a fluid, and then we see 3 pills in a case. And then it kicks off into the nice scene where you're introduced to the main people, which is Nick, Taylor, and Tony. Also, there's the other girl, but I just didn't note her on the starring as because she really didn't do a lot in the movie. Like, she was kind of almost like a secondary character.
It's funny you're saying this because I honestly didn't know any of them had names except Nick and Taylor.
Right, exactly. So, honestly, wasn't really invested enough to learn their names anyways. There's one guy, Sam, who's important to remember, though. He's the one that has, like, the long hair. So that's Sam.
You know what's funny? I was just looking at the cast on IMDb, and that guy that plays him, his name's Greg Sipes.
Yeah?
I've met him before.
Where have you met him?
He's done a lot of voice work for, like, the Ninja Turtles, Teen Titans.
No shit.
Yeah, I've met him at conventions before.
Go figure.
Because he was Michelangelo in one of the TV series.
Oh, that's a solid gig.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Being a Ninja Turtle, good for him. I'm sure he made some decent money on that. It's a good gig. So, yeah, Sam's important to remember as well. Honestly, he also, I feel like, got it nowhere near as bad as, like, the rest of them. Because, yes, this movie is basically torture porn. It just proceeds to get worse and worse later on. But they get kidnapped. Oh, wait. So here's how it goes. So they're leaving their little campsite that they were spending, I guess, the weekend at. And they pull over to get gasoline. And some random woman strolls up, dressed to the nines, with a gas canister in hand, saying, I ran out of gas. Can you help me get back to my car? Nick's like, yeah, sure. So she gets in the car. Death metal's playing. She's like, I love this song. And I'm like, I like your style.
I love how it ended that way, too.
Oh, yeah. That was a good way to end that particular scene, like wrap that up. But there's plot holes in this all day. There's so many plot holes. And we'll talk about that. But, okay, so the way they get captured, and this is all we know. He drops her off to her car. She goes, oh, hold on, I have some perfume for your girlfriends. She bends down or whatever. She comes back and sprays them all with gas, knocks them all out. Pretty much Split style, where Henry Wendell Crumb, he sprayed the girls in the face with whatever. I don't know. She kind of did the same thing.
So, funny you say that, because I was thinking this needs a remake.
With,
I think if they remade this movie...
Yeah,
with
James McAvoy.
With James McAvoy.
I just mentioned James McAvoy again. It's like not even doing it on purpose. Now it's just becoming a running joke.
Yep.
Oh my God, I gotta pull some strings and get him on here, and then everyone would die. Maybe season 3 we'll have James McAvoy as a guest, and he'll just run the show. Let him do his thing. I'll be like, I'm just here to listen.
He'll be the third host.
Yeah, the third host. I'm all about him being a third host. All right, 30 Screams Are James. Hashtag 30 Screams Are James, people. Let's make it happen, please.
Yeah, we want to be trending.
Let's make that trend. And then he goes, what the hell is hashtag 30 Screams Are James? I would love if that happened. That would be so awesome. So they all kind of wake up in this house. And man, this is giving me Saw 2 vibes.
Oh, this whole movie is Saw.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
the poster. This poster is a Saw ripoff.
Absolutely. Yeah, the whole thing is Saw vibes. Because Saw used to be, the first Saw that came out, I thought was more of a psychological horror movie. And then the second one, they amped it up a little bit, which is fine. But then everything after that was just straight torture porn.
Yeah, and that's what kind of I liked about Vile was it was sort of an original concept. They weren't having to do something to get out of a trap. They were having to torture each other to get out of this house.
Which, with the Saw movies, it tends to be you're doing shit to yourself over, other people. So this is like a different take on that same kind of premise.
Yep.
Yeah. So they all have these things hooked to the back of their heads. And the way it works is a fluid, I guess, comes out of your brain when your body is in panic mode, like it's being threatened by pain or like that it's about to be hurt. It's like a survival fluid. I don't know. Maybe it's like adrenaline. Who knows? Something like that. So they all have to do these things and they have to fill up these vials to a certain point to exit the house within, I don't know, was it 24 hours? Something like that? They just need to torture themselves for 24 hours?
Yeah, I think it was 24.
Yeah. So they needed to find a way to torture each other for 24 hours to get this fluid out of their brain, and that way they could leave. Now, my question is, what would happen at 24 hours? They're just locked in? I don't think I remember them saying what.
I don't think they ever did, but I'm sure maybe those things detonated or I don't know.
Oh, wait a second. Yes. There was another fluid with it that like injected into the brain and killed them.
Oh, yeah, because it happened to one of the guys at the end.
Wait,
didn't it?
No, it didn't. So what happened at the end was they all still had it hooked to their head. And Sam, the plot twist is Sam was one of the people behind it. It wasn't one of the head honchos, just an employee at work for the day, doing his whole spiel. So the plot twist is Sam was behind it a little bit, and he had a trigger that allowed him to set those things off. So it was like putting that fluid in their brain and trying to kill them. So this is like, it just doesn't make sense. The ending did not make any sense whatsoever to me, and we'll get to it. So they're like, they make it into this house, the four of them, and there's already these other people in there. And I don't remember the first guy's name, but he cut one of the girls, like, I guess trying to get her, like, loose from the fucking, like, they were all tied up, right? I don't even know why he cut her. Do you even know why he did at the beginning? Because
it wasn't explained.
No, it wasn't explained. We were sitting there, we were just hanging out. It happened so fast, and both of us were like, what just happened? Did she get cut? And I'm like, I assume so.
Yeah, we were like, why is she bleeding?
Yeah.
What happened?
Exactly. We had no idea why she was bleeding. We just assumed that maybe when he was trying to get them out of the ropes, that he cut her at the same time. So we don't know how this even happened. We just chalked it up to he probably cut her for funsies, whatever. So they all get out of the ropes. A big fight happens. And then they're like, oh, we got to work together. We're all into this together. That type of thing. Whatever. They go upstairs. They friggin' see a video. And the funny thing about this video, it is someone's face. Full-blown face. No mask. No nothing. So it's like, okay, well, now I can friggin' ID this person if we get out of here. Which I never expected them to get out of there anyways. But hypothetically, if they got out, they know what the person's face looks like. They know a location, and a lot of cops can just go off that shit.
Yeah, it was very similar to Jigsaw, minus the mask.
Yep. Very.
Like, at least Jigsaw made an attempt to hide his face.
Yeah. So that's pretty important. You don't want people to know what you look like. Faces are pretty unique. I mean, there are doppelgangers out there, but for the most part, if there was a description of me out there, I had a wanted poster, pretty easy to fucking recognize.
Oh, yeah. You'd be easy to find.
Exactly. Face traits are a pretty unique thing. We all have kind of different face traits. So they could have picked her out easy, no problem. Especially with like the big teeth that she had, like the gap teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Those are signs of just unique face, right? I don't know. I saw that and I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. And this is when they find out that they need to friggin' basically torture themselves to fill up these vials. And one of the guys is like, I'm not doing this. And he fucking pulls the thing out and I think either injects into his brain or just like turns his brain into mush because it's fucking hooked there.
He was DED.
Yeah, DED, uppercase, all caps, dead. DED. But here is now where I'm wondering about all this shit. So obviously doctors are involved to get these things attached to their heads. That's the only way I can think of. Were these people knocked out long enough to be brought into surgery, have these things hooked to their head, get the whole thing squared away, and then brought back to the place where they're all torturing themselves?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that gas that lady sprayed them with was potent shit, apparently.
Apparently, probably knocked them all out for fucking a day. Think about this. You have 8, maybe, was it like 10 people? No, there wasn't 10. It was probably 8 people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was like 8 people. You would need a group of doctors in order to achieve that on every single person in such a short span of time while they're all gassed. Again, none of it makes sense. So now they decide that one person's going to start. He's like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get out of here. I got to see my kids. Fair. So there's this one girl. She's raising all sorts of fucking hell. She is a borderline sadist. She doesn't care. She's like, I'll go first and beat the shit out of him. And she starts fucking annihilating this guy. She's like stabbing him like in the hip. She's pulling his fingernails up, all this stuff. She's dead set on, he knows something. We got to fucking do something about it, that type deal. But as every other person was going after him, she was still doing shit to them and completely cold and callous.
She also made a comment to him, I remember you.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they ever went back to that.
Never did.
Like, I thought, you and I, this actually happened when we were watching together. We heard her say that, and we're like, oh, shit, this is all tied together somehow. They all know each other.
That would make sense if they all knew each other. I mean, like, the other 4 maybe knew each other. But then, you know, the Nick, Taylor, Tony, the other girl, maybe they weren't even part of it. But later on in the film, I'm almost thinking, like, is Nick part of this thing, too? What is happening? So the torturing starts happening. This guy gets pretty much annihilated. The girl breaks his leg. Nick's like, what are you doing? He's going to have to walk out of here. And she's like,
Fuck him.
I don't know. My bad. JK LOL. And then they're starting to realize, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that much at once. Let's do half and half. So they all start doing 6% each, doing the fucking half the work. And they're like, this is taking a lot longer than expected. No shit. It's taking fucking way longer because you're doing way less. And then finally, the girl, it's her turn to get on the fucking table. But, Corey, you remember this, right? But where she's like, she got slugged by Tony because she was being ridiculous. She was being just super cold and saying that the first guy that went, that they should just leave him to die. And they voted for it, and that they're going to basically kill him, leave him for dead, so that way everyone can escape. And he slugs her. And I think we're like halfway into this movie at this point. Something like that.
This is one of my like gripes with the movie is it did seem to drag a lot. There was a lot of talking. I just wanted violence.
That's what I thought I was going to get.
But we're talking about like when the violence started happening. So this dude, Sam, who we later find out was involved in the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes sense now, though, because that scene where they first start torturing him, he gets the fucking clothes ironed to his chest.
Yeah.
Like, was that gigged somehow? Because he didn't even react to it.
I know. He looked fine. He's like, don't worry about it.
It's like, it's just a sunburn. It's fine.
Yeah. just third degree. No big deal.
I was like, is this a gigged iron? Because he doesn't even seem fazed by this.
Not at all. He just seemed perfectly fine. Like he's laying on the bed and he goes, hold my hand. So he does that whole thing. I guess he fills up his meter to 6% and he's like, all right, I'm going to go upstairs and hang out. Dum-de-dum-dum. And then it's Nick's turn after that. And that's when we don't know what the hell happened with Nick. All we know is that Taylor, she actually has these pills that her friend gave her. She hid them in her shoes, or actually her boot. Hid them in her boot. So she puts some in her mouth. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, a pregnant lady taking painkillers. Okay.
we thought she just swallowed a mouthful of pills right after she said she was pregnant.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's good. But no, really, she put the pills in her mouth and she kissed Nick.
She baby birded him to Nick.
She baby birded him with the pills.
Which fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah, messed the whole thing up. And they're just like, okay, maybe he has a high pain tolerance and or maybe he's got a chemical imbalance. Fair. I mean, that's a possibility. I know some people that are absolute sadists and they're just like, no, pain don't bother me. Or, you know, or they're like friggin' Patrick Swayze, pain don't hurt. It's like, yeah, it does. That's why it's called pain.
So this particular death here, not death, but this torture scene, the use of sound design in this movie I thought was really great because this torture scene, we don't see it.
No, we don't.
We hear it and we see Taylor reacting to it.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing that they did. I don't think we needed to see it. We needed to see Taylor's reaction to her boyfriend getting just annihilated.
Yeah, and at this point too, like he doesn't know that he's about to be a father.
No, he doesn't. And he got all fucked up. He's laying on the bed, like completely lethargic from the pills and obviously the violence.
Yeah. And then he gets pissed at her.
Yeah.
Because she essentially drugged him and he's mad because the name of the game is pain and suffering.
Yeah.
That's the only way that your brain creates this stuff. Mm-hmm. And by giving him the drugs, he's not producing this fluid.
Exactly. So I understand him being mad. And then she drops the whole, I'm pregnant. And so that's supposed to magically make things a little bit better. Now it's more like, fuck, okay, you're a child. Now we have to get out of here. How the hell are we going to do this?
Yeah, I think Taylor gets it the worst, though.
Oh, my God, she does.
And it's all self-inflicted.
It really is. It's so bad. And then they start to realize, okay, we're running low on time. So they're going to try to do multiple people at once.
This one got me.
The boiling water?
Yeah, I was a little queasy here.
Oh, this is gnarly. So they had this bucket of boiling water. And Taylor, Tony, and the other girl, which is Tony's love interest, they all decide, okay, we're all going to do this as a team and put our arms in fucking boiling water. So Taylor, Tony, the three of them, they go for it. Tony's love interest backs out, and the both of them put their arms in at the last second. So this girl's straight up like, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. That must have sucked so bad.
It sucked. And then what's her face?
The fucking sadist girl.
The sadist girl just appears again and she starts stabbing Tony.
Yeah, she just like, she cuts him or whatever. And like, then the boiling water falls on Tony.
Yep. So, and now everyone's fucking swimming in boiling water.
Yeah. And she's trying to stab him. And they do a number to her right after this.
Oh, yeah. Then she finally gets what was coming to her the whole time.
Yeah. It was her turn. And they're like, all right. You know,
but then she manages to while they have her tied down, she manages to Hulk out of one of the straps and slash one of the other girls' throats.
Yeah. And
what did she do? Did she have fucking railroad spikes as fingernails?
I guess so. So, yeah, like she killed Tony's love interest by cutting her throat. I don't remember what she grabbed. I feel like she had something. It almost looked like it wasn't a blade, but like a piece of broken, I don't know, glass or ceramic or whatever. That's kind of what it looked like in her hands when they were holding her down. So she dies, but I don't think she did a lot of the torture stuff or any of the torture stuff. So she didn't really produce any fluid.
Right. No, they didn't want to hurt her because she was pregnant.
No. This is Tony's love interest. She didn't even go yet. And she didn't even do the boiling water thing. So
yeah, she was just too busy fucking everyone else up.
Yeah, exactly. So she's too busy doing her own thing, didn't want to participate in any of that. And then when you die, though, in this, apparently it knocks that percentage that you developed off of the fucking, I guess, scoreboard, percentage meter. I don't know what it is. But it got knocked off for her, even though she didn't do shit. So I'm like, okay, sure.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. Okay. So now Tony's about to fucking raise all sorts of hell because obviously his love interest, his partner's dead via the hands of that sadist girl who's on the table at the moment. And he was about to straight up kill her. Nick's like, nope, don't worry. And then they started to have their fun. They don't show any of it though. Well, they show some of it. They show the wrench to the throat and then a fucking wrench to the face where then she started spitting teeth. But we didn't see anything. No, we saw some, right? We saw a little more. They were doing something to where like, oh, Corey, the cheese grater.
Yeah. So I was telling you, it's so funny because we were talking about that movie Boy Kills World, like right before we watched this.
Yeah.
And I told you all I'm going to say is cheese grater. Mm-hmm. And then the cheese grater shit happened in this movie.
Go figure.
So just so you know, there's a little spoiler there for you.
Thanks. I think I'm only like 15 minutes in.
You're close. But anyways, at the fucking cheese grater, man, I used to see that shit in ECW all the time back in the day. Yeah. They used to do that all the time.
All the time.
And then they just use a cheese grater on this girl's shoulder.
Oh, God.
Oh, but this is before hitting her in the throat after hitting her in the throat with a wrench.
Can you imagine getting hit in the throat with a wrench? That would have crushed her windpipe. And then she'd really be fucking... Well, actually, if anything, that'd be smart. Because she wouldn't be dead. She'd just be struggling to breathe like you wouldn't believe. And then her body would be going in panic mode.
Exactly. How does that not happen? How did that not happen in this movie? That wrench was big.
Yeah.
And you just cracked her right in the center of the neck.
Yeah, you would think that her getting cracked in the throat like that would fucking make that meter skyrocket. Because now she's thinking she's going to die because she can't fucking breathe. Didn't happen. They did a number on her and they got the fucking percentage way up, that's for sure. And she survived for the most part. I mean, she was pretty much just out of it. Actually, did she? No, she survived. Because
there were only like, two people that died, I think. 2, 3?
No, I think they all pretty much ended up dying. I mean, we don't really get a resolution, but we kind of do. So now, let's fast forward. We're at the part where they actually hit 100%. They hit their goal. Now, they get a congratulations, you meet your goal. Go up to this spot and have the device removed from your head or whatever. Actually, not the device. It is like the vial of fluid that they were able to gather. It got taken from their head. So it's like, okay, and like this door opens one person at a time, allows them to get out. One by one, they're able to get out. Taylor goes, Nick, you first. I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're a guy. You should probably maybe let her go first. But at the same time, there's a good reason why he went. So Tony goes first. He's yelling for Nick. And then Nick goes and we find out the twist, right? The big twist.
It's so dumb. I mean, the twist is cool, but it should have been someone else. Like, the kid that was involved in this whole thing, I don't think he was believable as a mastermind, you know?
It wasn't believable at all. At all.
He reminded me of Matt Riddle.
Yeah, he had a Matt Riddle look to him. Like, bro.
Yeah, you're like a surfer stoner dude is like the mastermind of this whole thing.
Yeah, okay. No, not quite. So Nick gets out there. He's got a screwdriver, and Sam is holding Tony. And Sam, I think, stabs Tony or just cuts Tony's stomach. By the way, everyone else is on the floor fucking bleeding out and all this shit, including the sadist girl. She's in a pool of blood. So Sam put in some work. And Tony gets stabbed. Nick runs after Sam. And it's like the most anticlimactic showdown. Nick's in there with Sam, and they're just like having a discussion.
They're talking it out.
Yeah. We gotta talk this out. No. So they're just fucking, they're in there, they're talking, and he's like, you should go back to Taylor, check on her, because what happened, Taylor got fucking screwed. So she's trying to help that other guy. You remember the guy at the beginning that got really messed up? He was the first one to go. She's helping to drag him out, and it's still at 100% at this point. And on the way, dragging him, he dies. The percentage drops.
Yeah.
Taylor's logged in again. It's like, oh my god. So she has to complete the rest of the percentage in order for her to get out.
She had a big brain move right there though, and like immediately realized that she need to fuck herself up to get out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was the speed round.
The speed round where she runs over and she grabs a electric plate, like the stovetop thing. Mm-hmm. That made me cringe because I've done that before.
Oh god.
She did.
she's like
on the top of my hand, but she put it on her back.
Yeah, on the back. So she was like, I'm going to plug this thing in. I'm going to do other things. And then came back and did it. So she poured bleach on her hand that was really messed up from the boiling water. So her hand's messed up. She poured bleach all over it. That's got to fucking be a nightmare. From there, and then what else? Oh, she started smashing her hand in the cabinet doors.
Yep.
Again, awful. Does the fucking the waffle iron, right? Does that on the back. She runs to the living room. She's like nailing her hand to the floor. And then I'm like...
Yeah, the nail to the hand was enough. It let her out.
Yep, that was enough. But then Sam decides he's going to hit the trigger and inject all this shit that it's been like to everyone's heads. Like, inject this fluid into their brains and kill them all within 10 minutes. So Nick's dying, and he ends up stabbing Sam. And miraculously, there's a pill nearby that Nick's able to take, and he's better, right? Okay.
It's all over.
All over.
Nick gets a pill.
Yeah, he takes a pill. It's like a fucking Tylenol, right? And he's fine. Problem is, obviously, Taylor's still in the room. She's fucking dying because of this stuff. He can't get to her. So he just up and walks out, cuts the chain, walks outside. I'm like, dude, your girlfriend and your unborn child are in there. You just fucking piecing out.
I thought we were going to get a dead kid.
Yeah. Well, we basically did. When you think about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like the unborn child.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing about a lot of horror movies is when there's a pregnant woman involved, I've always found that a lot of the times they're the ones to get out. For instance, Evil Dead Rise. The aunt, right? She's pregnant and she gets out and she takes the daughter of her sister. So, things like that. The pregnant woman, horror movie tends to throw them a friggin' bone unless you want to be absolutely ridiculous and do some things. So she didn't get out. She died in there. I think. We don't know. We're not 100% sure because we don't see what happened. We just assume she died in there, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like she escaped at some point because she did what she needed to do and get the meter back up to 100, but we never see her again.
Yeah, we never see her. Yeah, we never see her again. We don't know if she got the Tylenol. No idea.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end, we get the... I made a comment on my notes here that when Nick gets that girl,
yep,
like he kidnaps a girl at the end of the movie. It's the girl in the trunk.
It's the girl. Oh yeah. It's fucking
the one we just reviewed.
Yep. Oh, is it her?
No, I don't know if it specifically is that actress. I'm just saying this is like a little fucking universe we've created on this podcast where everything's tied together somehow.
We're just getting all the James McAvoys and girls in trunks, just wrapping it all in a nice little bow.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy this scene. I thought it was very weird. This is some straight up Pineapple Express shit. So
minus Seth Rogen. So
and
what the other guy? James Franco, Danny
McBride. The three of them having breakfast, bloodied all over the place at a diner. Right. So Nick, he just he goes to a diner. This guy's got blood all over him. His hand's fucked up. He's sitting there enjoying a coffee, and the girl's like, actually, I don't even know. Do we even know what the time frame is on this one? Was this like right after, or do you think like a few weeks later? We don't know, right?
No, we have no clue.
No clue. So, all right. So let's say if he did leave right away and he decides to go get some pancakes, he would be covered in blood. You think it'd be suspicious? The waitress is like, I don't give a fuck. At least I get a tip, I hope. So maybe if it was a few weeks later, it could have been one of those things where he was just sitting at that diner waiting to see this girl. And when he did, he can fucking make his move and attack. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was like a few weeks later, a few months later. We don't know. There's no real clarification there. All we do see is that she was trying to pull that shit with another family who ended up just dropping her off and then pieced out. So he ends up attacking her from behind, slams her head into the car, throws her in the trunk via girl in the trunk. He sits in the driver's seat, death metal's playing, and he's like, I love this song. And it comes back full circle, which is cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice touch.
That was a nice touch. End scene, fade to black. That's the end. I do like that portion of the ending because I like bringing it, like when movies bring it back like that. So, Corey, what do you give Vile?
This is gonna get 3 out of 5 for me. I didn't hate it a lot, but the movie dragged. The acting was absolutely horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these people never acted before.
Probably not.
I thought the concept was original, like we talked about before. And I can't think of a movie where you have to torture the other person that you're with rather than getting tortured. Again, the sound design was really great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff happens off screen in this, and you have to rely on the sounds to know what's going on, which I appreciate, but kind of a forgettable movie to me.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to remember much of it other than maybe some of the fingernail stuff. So,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. So same thing for me. I'm going with a 3 out of 5 on this as well. It was really just a torture porn movie. No real substance or resolution behind it. There was a lot of plot holes, which that's kind of what I mean by resolution. We don't know who was behind the whole thing. I'm not believing Sam was behind it. There's someone way higher up than him. I think he's just a fucking salesperson. We don't know what happened with Taylor. Probably dead kid. We don't know, right? And there's a lot that is unexplained in this. The twist at the end was similar to that of Saw 2, like I was saying before, where Amanda was actually helping with the whole thing, but she was also kind of a contestant as well. Like, I guess contestant or whatever Jigsaw refers to them as, like potential survivors. I don't know. I feel like a lot of it just didn't make sense. The acting was forced feeling and just not that great. Overall, mid. Just kind of a mid-tier horror movie. It was fine.
I'm going to need to go back and find out who the fuck Maynard James Keenan played.
Yeah, let's see that.
From Tool.
Okay, I got to see this on IMDb.
It just says Special Agent Ford. Like, who the hell was that?
There were no cops in it. There were no special agents. Where are you?
Yeah, I even Googled like Maynard James Keenan Vile and nothing came up.
Yeah, Maynard James Keenan is there. What? I have to talk to him and be like, hey, were you even in this movie?
He somehow just got credited and didn't do anything.
Yeah, just hidden behind a veil or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have that kind of relationship with Maynard James Keenan. I can't just hit him up and be like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, you probably never will either.
No, I don't think so. Unless I fucking buy a winery near him. I'd be like, oh, hey, neighbor.
There you go.
I think that's pretty much the only way. And then in that case, I'll probably say, hey, neighbor, and he'll fucking run and scurry away and hide.
There's several people on the cast list on IMDb that I have no fucking clue who they are.
There were not that many people in this film.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Special Agent Ford, woman on TV. I'm going to have to go back and see that because I'd like to see Maynard James Keenan in a horror movie. I just don't know where the hell he's in it, like in that movie. We didn't see anything remotely cop-based. There's no cops at all.
I have no idea.
Zero clue. So we'll look into it. Unless he maybe just, like, I don't know, put money towards the movie, was an investor. And they're like, we'll put you in here as a special agent.
I didn't notice until now that the guy that played Nick was also one of the writers.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, I saw that when I was putting my notes together.
No, he needs to go back to the drawing board.
Well, I guess so.
Although apparently he only wrote a couple episodes of Yellowstone, so that was a pretty successful show.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yellowstone was awesome.
Never watched it.
You never watched it? Think about it. Like, it's like Breaking Bad with land.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about blue meth?
No.
So it's, okay. I thought you said it was like Breaking Bad.
Well, like the style. Like that style type crime show. You know what I mean? So when I say Breaking Bad, I mean it's like a crime drama. So they're this family and they own a ginormous portion of land in Montana. And when you own that much land, you tend to have sway regarding politics and things that happen in the area, stuff like that. So they look at them almost like they're fucking mafia. It's cool. It's a good show. I would recommend checking it out. I think you'll like it. Watch like an episode. I think you'll be like, all right, this is fun.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I recommend it. I would never steer you wrong, other than Lisa Frankenstein, but you still liked it anyways.
I liked it for what it was. I just don't feel like it was a horror movie.
Yeah, that's fair. That was more of a dark comedy, like we were kind of mentioning before. All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies, and be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans. Starring Eric Jay Beck as Nick, April Matson as Tayler. All right. April Matson as Tayler, and Akeem Smith as Tony. The plot of this movie is, fuck if I know. Because I didn't put it in.
Completely blank. Hold on, I got it. It's refreshing.
Okay, I see it.
Fuck.
There's this. There's this.
We have no idea what it's about.
There's the blooper. The plot is, fuck if I know. Oh, jeez.
That was peak Steve right there. All right, fucking reel it in. Let's get back on track.
All right. Breathe.
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay.
That was funny.
I'm back.
All right, welcome back.